Hi, this is Juliana, and today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful Siren Song Pendant. Created this pendant using beads from the Summer in Sicily collection from Eureka Crystal. And I'm going to explain after I finish showing you the materials why I frequently use the Eureka Crystal collections for my videos. So you can stay tuned if you want to see that. I'm going to timestamp it, so if you want to skip it, you can. But I'm going to show you how to make this pendant, and also, if you're interested, this chain to go with it. I'll be showing that toward the end of the video. Also, everything will be time stamped. You can also use a ribbon on this or a gold chain, whatever you want to put on there. So the supplies used were this beautiful 18 by 25 Eureka Crystal teardrop, these 11O delicas, and then you see I have some different color delicas. That is because I added on my piece these little 2mm AB crystals, which did not come in the collection. And you can see they're right here, or maybe I hope you can see they're right here on the border, the front border here. If you don't have those and you don't want to purchase them, and you have the collection, or even if you just don't want to purchase them, because these delicas are part of the design. So you can put these in those places instead, or if you have the collection or another color delica that you prefer to pop in there just to give it a little pop of color, you can put another little delica in those places. And that'll kind of make a little pop of color in the front of that. Also, there are 11O Miyukis in two different colors, 8O Tohos, 8O Miyukis, and 15O Miyukis. You need a small needle. You can use a larger, but there may be a time where you need to change it out because things do get pretty snug in there. I'd say about a 12, size 12. I used a 6-pound fire line. You could use a 4-pound, but I don't know how that would affect the tension because I didn't try it. And you'll need some kind of a clasp. This is the toggle that came with the collection, but any clasps that you want. And also, I don't know how I forgot these on there, some 4mm pearls. If you make the spiral, the herringbone spiral neck chain, you're going to need more beads than came with the collection. Fortunately, the beads that were used here that are in the collection are commonly part of people's stashes. This is a white Ceylon pearl 11O, and that's a galvanized gold 11O. So a lot of people have those just in their stash. If you don't have them and you want to make the chain, you're going to have to probably get more than was in the collection. Also, for the chain, if you look at this, this is obviously not the finished chain. I'm going to put a picture up of the finished chain, but I was just kind of playing with this. You can do this in different ways too, and we'll talk about it when we get to the chain, but this is like a 2-strand with different beads, and then I started playing with one where you just put little pops of different color inside your one color strand. Anyway, we will get to that. And I think, I also want to talk to you about why I always use the Eureka collection in my videos. Because you might be saying, why does she only use Eureka Crystal? I do use different bead suppliers, quite a few of them, and I do love my other bead suppliers too. The reason I use the Eureka Crystal for the collection is because I'm time constrained. I have a lot of stuff going on that I don't really have time. In addition to designing, videotaping, and editing, I don't really have time to start, pulling my collection together from various sources. I know anybody who's beading a while probably knows that you'll need to get different kinds of beads, and they won't all be in one supplier, so you might have to pull from different suppliers. And if you do that in small quantities, what happens is you end up paying a lot of shipping, because most of the companies do offer free shipping, but only for if you purchase a certain amount. Same with Eureka. With the Eureka collection, you'll get a beautifully collated collection. They are color complemented. They come with a variety of shapes and sizes. The items are high quality. Excuse me, they have beautiful crystals, and their pearls are high quality. They always include findings in the collection, which I like, and also that the findings are high quality. They're generally precious metal plated. You also get a lot of beads in the collection, so you can make several projects with it usually. And that's about it. I have tried other subscriptions, and I've enjoyed them greatly. I love the other subscriptions. Obviously, the collection's not a subscription, but the subscriptions I have tried were fabulous. And I may do that down the road some when I get a little more economically stable and have a little bit more time to work on things. I think that's about it. I did want to mention that for this design, all of these supplies will be, this collection is sold out. All of these supplies will be listed in the description. I'll give you links to the Eureka website where they generally do have these supplies separately, selling separately. Like these little 2mm crystals are on their website right now, currently sold out, but they do have a wait list for them. But you can also purchase these in other places. Of course, you can get all your beads from the supplier of your choice. You may have a lot of these in your stash. You may have bought the collection and have leftovers. So however you want to get there. So that's it. I know that was long-winded, but I felt the need to explain myself. So let's get started. Okay, I have added 56 beads, delicate beads, to my thread. I have about a wingspan that I added to the needle. And I'm going down and leave about, enough tail thread to weave in, maybe 4 or 5 inches. And I'm just going to go through all of those beads again. I sped that up greatly for y'all, but believe me when I say I take my time when I'm going through them because I don't want to miss any beads. So I'm getting to my tail thread here. Once I get to where my tail thread is, I'm going to go through the first 4 beads. Pull it, kind of snug, but you don't need to pull it too tight. We're going to do some peyote, so I'm going to pick up a bead, coming out of that bead, going to skip the next bead, go through the bead after that. Hold it with your thumb and your finger here, your middle finger, and you get your little beads to line up. Just like bosom buddies right there. Pick up a bead, coming out of that bead, I'm going to skip the next one, go through the next one. Okay, that didn't want to line up, so I'm going to help it line up. And you got your little pairs there. And we're going to just do the same thing all the way around this. Make sure you're doing 2, 1, 2, 1. Because if that pattern doesn't sustain, it's because you missed a bead somewhere. And we will be back. I am coming up to my last little delicate here. I've got one loaded on my needle. Skipping this one, going into the last one in this row. And then I'm also going to go into the one next to that to step up to the next row. Now we're going to start our third row actually with pick up another delica. You got a pokey outy bead here. Going to go to the next pokey outy bead. Pick up a delica. Next pokey outy. Delica. Next pokey outy. So you'll see in that last ring we did, we had 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 all the way around. On this new one, we're having 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And that's one way you make sure you didn't miss a bead. If you miss one, you're going to have to go back and fix it. We're going to finish this all the way around, and I'll see you back here. Alright, I'm coming up at the end of my row here, and I've got a delica on my needle. I'm going to go through that last pokey outy in that row and step up to the next row. And my little band here is starting to curve, and that's what we want it to do. And I'm going to start on a row of 15, so I'm going to pick up a 15-0. Coming out of that bead right there, I'm going to go to the next pokey outy bead. Pick up a 15-0. Next pokey outy bead. And now we are going to do that all the way around, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, I'm coming up to my last 15-0, going through that last pokey outy bead and stepping up into the 15-0 next to it. And we're just going to do another round of 15-0s. So I'm coming out of that 15-0, going into the next. Coming out of that 15-0, going to the next. We're just going to do that all the way around. And I'll meet you back here. Alrighty, I'm coming up to my third row of peyote here, but before I go into that, I'm going to get rid of this tail thread. I went ahead and put a needle on it. If you already know how to do this, and I am going to timestamp this, you can skip this section and go right to the front. Basically, the name of the game here is to weave your thread throughout the peyote stitches and without showing any thread. And once you weave them in, it kind of knots itself in the beads there, and you don't really need to worry about a knot. I love peyote for that reason, well, among others. So I am coming out of this peyote bead right here. And what I'm going to do is go right next door to its little bosom buddy and go up that one and the one in front of it. And you can really choose any beads you want to weave it into. You just want to make sure that you're doing it where you're either going horizontally or the bead right next to it, so that you never have any tail thread showing. So I just flipped it. I'm going to go back through its little bosom buddy here. And through, if I can get it, the one in front of that. And sometimes you can get 2 or 3 of them. If you keep, following a path and crisscrossing them, that helps it be secure in those beads. And I'm coming out of that one. I'm going to go in the one above it. And try to get through another one. Then I'm going to turn it around. Coming out of there, going next to its little bosom buddy and going through at least 2 there, or 3. whatever I can get through. Two. Coming out of that one, I'm just going to go through a couple more. And if you have to do these one at a time, you can do that too. You don't have to go through a bunch at the same time. If it's really giving you a hard time, like this one is, I'm just going to go through that one. And then I'm going to flip it. Go back through its bosom buddy there. And the one in front of that. Now I feel like it's pretty secure in there right now. So I'm going to pull my thread off and cut or burn off your thread. My battery's dropping dead on my burner here. Okay, now we're on that, coming up on that third row, and we're coming out of this pokey outy bead right here. On this one, on that third row, I created the white pearl Ceylon bead row, but I think on this one, just to show you a little variety, I'm going to use the 15-0 galvanized gold to make that inner row. I'm coming out of that one, I'm going into the one, the pokey outy bead in front of it. Now, instead of going into the next pokey outy bead, I'm going to go down to the one, I'm coming out of that one, going to go down to the one below it. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Coming out of that one, going to the one below it, and then the one above that. So essentially what I'm doing is following a thread path and skipping that pokey outy. I'm going to pick up a 15-0, go into the next pokey outy. Okay, coming out of that one, going to go down one and up one. And then go into the next pokey outy. Give it a tug. We're going to do that all the way around, and then I'll see you back here. Okay, I'm coming up to my last gold 15-0 here, going through that white bead. And I'm going to go ahead and go through the next 15-0 and the 15-0 after that. And pull all that really snug. And I'm going to coming out of that 15-0 right there. I'm going to come up to the 15-0 above it, the white one. Go back down to the 15-0. Coming out of that 15-0, going back down through this one. And the next one. Pulling it snug. Okay. Now I'm going to work my way back. Coming out of that 15-0 to the white one here. And work my way to the back of the piece. next to it there. Just going to try to get through all 4 of those. And coming out of that pokey outy bead, I'm going to start the first 3 rounds of peyote again with gold. And I'm going to do all gold beads this time. All gold 15 O's. Putting a little excerpt in here because I forgot to tell you this when I was talking about the back of the piece here. After your second row, you want to go ahead and put your crystal into your bezel and hang on to it. So when you're doing that third row, it's going to tighten things up, and it may be more difficult to get in and after that. So just put your bezel in, hang on, and then keep going with your third row to the next pokey outie. So we're going to do that all the way around. We're going to do the first row, it's the second row, and the third row where you had your little valleys and peaks, and then we will meet back here. All gold, or whatever color you want. I'm doing gold. And finishing up my third row, coming out of this bead right here, I'm getting close to the top. So what I did was I went around to the front to see where my 2 beads were cinched in the front there, and then I followed the middle of those 2 back, and I ended up with this bead, this delica right here being the middle, which means this bead right here is the middle. So I want to go through the 15-0 next to that. I'm going to move this because that was just my little marker. And I'm going to skip that middle bead and go, not put a bead on, just go right into the next one. Maybe the one after that. And I'm just going to pull that snug. I'm coming out of this bead right here after we cinched. I'm going to pick up 115-0 and go into the next pokey outy bead. And I'm going to pick up 2 15-0s and go to the next poking out bead. Two 15-0s, next poking out bead. And all I'm doing is just securing this crystal a little bit better. When I get around, I'm going to do 2 all the way around. When I get back up here to the top, right before those cinch beads, I'm going to just put one 15-0 in between there and there. So I'll see you after that. Alrighty, I went all the way around, and I've got a little bit of a gap here. I'm just going to pick up one more 15-0 and go into that 15-0 across from it. And just pull it. Again, it's just to secure that crystal in there. Make sure it stays put. I'm going to go in there too, just to pull it a little tighter. Okay. Now I'm going to work my way up to the top. So just coming out of that 15-0 going up this one, just follow your thread path, whichever way you want to, so that no thread is showing. And I'm going to, I'm trying to situate myself so that coming out of above these two that were hitched together. So above that. So that's right here in the middle of that. There's a little square. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want to be coming out of this bead right here. And I'm currently coming out of this one, so I'm going to go up, try to get up 1, 2, 3 of those right over there on the edge. So I'm going to put my first pearl here, and I want it sitting right above the center of that. Pick up a pearl, skip the 2 buddy beads, and go into the one next in front of that. And we're coming out of this one. We're going to go right to the side, but above and the side diagonal. And we're going to go through that one and the one diagonally in front of that. And we're going to pick up an 8/0. Coming out of this one. Skip these 2, go to the one in front. Coming out of this one, we go to the diagonal front, and one diagonally in front of that. Now that's a lot of diagonals. Okay, my thread got caught. I'll show you what we're trying to do. We're counting these as little squares. Let's see if I can get that on camera. Counting these as little squares. So we're going to skip a square and then put something in a square in the middle. And then skip a square and put something in a square. So that's why we're going on the diagonal. So we're skipping this square. Well, I think we came out of the wrong spot there. No, yeah, already. We're skipping this square. We're coming out of this one, and we're going to pick up our pearl. And skip the 2 little buddy beads. Go into that in front of it. One more time through that diagonal, because we're skipping that square in front of the pearl. And the one in front of it. Careful your thread doesn't get caught on your pearls and your 8/0s, because it likes to. We're going to skip the 2 buddy beads right here and go to the one in front of that. We're going to do that all the way around. Coming up with my last 8/0. And I'm just going to work my way to the other side of this pearl, following a thread path, any thread path you want. I'm going to go through that one, the white one below it probably, this one. And then I'm going to turn it over here, because what I want to be coming out of is this bead right below this pearl. So I'm coming out of that white one, I'm just going to scoot right through that delica. And it's going to be tight, hence the size 12 needle. I'm going to go through the pearl, pick up a 15-0 and an 11-0, and go through the 8-0. And pick up an 11-0 and a 15-0, and go through the pearl. 15-0, 11-0, through the 8-0, $11.0, 15-0, through the pearl. We're going to do that all the way around. I'm going to find the hole in that pearl. I'm going to do that all the way around, and I'll see you at the beginning. Got my last 11-0, 15-0, and going through the pearl. I'm going to go through the little bridge I just built between the pearls. I'm going to pick up 6 15-0s. I'm going to go behind this pearl and into the 15-0 of the little bridge. And through the whole bridge if you can do it. I'm going to situate those 15-0s behind this pearl, like that. Pick up 6 15-0s. Go into the next 15-0 and the whole bridge. And scoot those to the back so that you have this little scallop behind your pearls. We're going to do that all the way around. On my last set of 15-0s. Coming out of our little thread bridge here with the 15-0 on it, I'm going to pick up 6 15-0s. And this time, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through the 15-0 bridge, 15-0 and through the bridge. However you can get in there by hook or crook. And this time I'm going to pull that little row of 15-0s over to the front. And I'm just going to do that same thing all the way around. On my last little set of 15-0s for that little front row scallop. I have that. Coming out of this pearl, I'm going to pick up 6 15-0s. And I'm coming right back around the other side of that pearl. And I'm going to go up 3 of them. And pick up a 15-0. And go back down the other 3. And then go back through that pearl. and through the 15-0 and 11-0 and the 8-0. I'm going to pick up a gold 8-0, my Yuki. Uh-oh, I think I went through an extra bead there. Hang on. Sneaky little bead. Pick up that Miyuki. I'm coming out of that 8-0. I'm going to go back around the other side of it. Things are getting a little tight in there. And go back through that and the 11-0 and the 15-0 in. If you can get at the pearl. So 6 15-0s. Around the other side of the pearl. Go back through 3. Pick up a gold 15-0. Back down the other 3. Back through the pearl. 11-0, 15-0, 11-0, and 8-0. It can be tricky to get it just through that 8-0. If you have to go through the 11-0, you can, and then just backtrack back to your 8-0. Sometimes you gotta cheatsies. Pick up your 8-0. Back through the 8-0 you're coming out of. The 11-0, the 15-0. And if you can get it. My needle's so bent, I don't know where it's going. Like has a mind of its own at this point. Through the 8-0 too. I need the pearl too. We're going to repeat that all the way around. Finishing up my last 8-0 here. Just keeping them standing up a little bit. I'm coming out of that 15-0 at the end of the bridge. I'm going to pick up another 15-0 and go into this picot at the top of the pearl. Come down through those 3 15-0s. Pick up a 15-0. And go through all the way through the little bridge between the pearls, through the 15-0, the 11-0, the 8-0, the 11-0, and the 15-0. You may have to go through a couple at a time. Like there, I got to the 11-0. That wasn't bad. I just need to go through the 15-0. It gets pretty snug in there. But I did it. Watch your thread. When you get all these beads poking up like that, it loves to get caught. Back around the pearl, pick up a 15-0. Go through the top 15-0s on top of the pearl. Through the next 3. And another 15-0. Through the next bridge. We're going to do that all the way around. See you in a few. Adding the last 15-0 here and going through my little thread bridge. And I'm going to go this time into this little front row of 15-0s. There are 6 of them. I'm going to go through 2 of them. Nope, I'm going to go through 4 of them. I'm going to go through 4 of them. So through 1, 2, 3, 4 of these little front 15-0s. And I'm going to pick up a gold 15-0, a white 15-0, an 11-0. And then I'm going to pick up, let me show you this. On this one, this is this front fringe we're doing here. And on this one I added these little 2mm crystals. They're AB crystals. They didn't come in the collection. If you have those in your stash, they can be any color you want. You can use those, or if you want to use a Delica instead, you can do that. You can use the one that we used for the base, or you can use a different color for a little pop of color in there. So I'm just going to pop one of these blue ones in there. So it's gold 15-0, white 15-0, 11-0, the Delica or crystal, 11-0, white 15-0, and gold 15-0. And then we're going to go through, you're coming out of this 15-0 right here. We're going to go to the next row of scallops. We're going to skip the first 2 15-0s and go through the middle 2 15-0s. And we are going to do that all the way around. I'm on my last little front frill set here. Going through those 2 center 15-0s. And I'm just going to go through the next set. And through these 4 15-0s in front of the pearl. And then I'm going to go up. These side 15-0s. And through that little picot on top. Now I'm going to pick up a gold 15-0, a white 15-0, an 11-0, and an 8-0. And I'm going to go through that 8-0 Miyuki right there. It's the 8-0 Toho I'm picking up. And pick up another 8-0 Toho, 11-0, 15-0 white, 15-0 gold. And go back through this next picot. So 15-0 gold, 15-0 white, 11-0 8-0 Toho, through the 8-0 Miyuki, 15-0, 11-0, I'm sorry, 8-0, 11-0, 15-0 white, and 15-0 gold. And through that next picot. We're just going to do that all the way around, and I'll see you back here. I'm coming up to my last set of top frill beads. I'm going to go ahead and go through the 15-0, the back 15-0 part of the frill I just added, and on the way, all the way through to the 8-0. I'm going to pick up 3 15-0s. I'm coming out of this 8-0 right here. I'm going to go down into, I'm going to crisscross over there. I'm going to go down into this middle bead, whether that's your delica or your crystal that you've got there. But I'm coming out of this side of the 8-0, going into this side of the delica, the opposite side. I'm going to pick up a 15-0 and go back through that center bead of those 3 we just added. Pick up a 15-0 and go back through the opposite side of the 8-0 that we went through when we started. And you can go all the way up to through that little row of beads until you get to that 15-0 up there. Let's kind of pull it snug. And I'm going to pick up a gold 15-0. And I'm going to go into that next 15-0 that's on the next little frill bridge. And then I'm going to go into the center 15-0 of this, the one that sits on top of the pearl. I'm going to come back through the other side of this 15-0. And if you can go through all 3 of those 15-0s, that would be good. And I'm going to go through the thread bridge through to the 8-0 again. And we're going to do that same thing all the way around. And I'll see you back here. Coming up to my last little 15-0 here. Going through that 8-0. I'm going to go right on through and follow this. Oh, I've got one more 15-0 to put on up here too. One more gold 15-0. And go through that little circuit. Okay, now I'm going to follow my little outer ruffle beads up to the top here of my teardrop. However you can get there, just work your way through the beads, and then you're going to go through your beads at the top here and come out this third gold 15 at the top. Okay, I'm going to kind of schmooze my pendant. Just it can be kind of tighter or looser. I'm just going to schmooze it the way I want it. I want it a little curved because that way that back maybe not going to be hitting your skin on the back like this one. You can see is curved. This one is curved. So I want it flat enough that I can see all the decoration on the front, all the pretty stuff I added, but also a little bit curved. So I'm coming out of that 15 on the back there. I'm going to pick up 2 11 actually 4, sorry. 4 11 and I'm going to come back through this other 15 right here on the other side. You take a little maneuvering. I'm going to go back through the other 2. You can go front or back, whichever way, to get back out the other side of that other 15 that you started with. Do them one at a time if you have to. Back outside of this one. What we're doing here is adding our bail. So you're coming out of that one, you're going to go up 2 of those 11 come back down the other 2, and go back through the gold. And turn it to the back, I think you can see it better. Back through this little gold one right here. I'm going to go back up 2 of these 11 I'm going to pick up 2 11 go down 1 of these 11 and go up 2 11 Pick up 2 11 go down 1, come up 2. We're going to keep doing that until we get this bail as long as we want it. And I believe I came up with about 17 of them on this one to fit around this little rope we're going to make. So I will see you back when we finish that. Alright, I've added my 17 little 11 here. On the back of the pendant, I'm going to just bend this down toward these little gold 15 I'm coming out of this 11 right here. And I'm going to go through this 15 on the same side. And then I'm going to go back up 3 of the 11 and then I'm coming out of that 11 right there. I'm going to go to the buddy next to it and go down 3 11-ohs. And if I can, well, I'm just going to go down the 3. No point in making it harder on myself. And then I'm going to come out of this 11-oh on, I mean this 15-oh on that side. Back up 3 11-ohs. Back down 3 11-ohs. And through that 15-oh on that side. I'll probably do that circuit one more time and then run my thread through the little outer rim here and do some half hitches and tie this thread off. And that's it for the pendant. This is the pendant with the little blue delicas in it in the front. And this is the pendant with the crystals. And I also changed up, added a gold accent on the front of this one, on the front of the crystal. This one I kept all white. I added these little crisscrosses on this one that I didn't have on this one. I changed this design several times as I was making it, the several times I made it, and I kept forgetting how I made it, so it kept changing the design a little bit. So that is that, and next we will start working on this. See you in a few. So now we're going to work on this little chain, and if you look at this in halvesies, I did half of this just a gold and white spiral, and the other half I did in this white with just little speckled accent beads here and there. So you can do that however you want. I'm going to show you how to do the spiral, and the other is done just the same mostly. I'll explain that as we go. So we're going to pick up 2 white 11-ohs and 2 gold 11-ohs and slide those down. I used about a wingspan of thread. You may run out of thread on that, I'm not sure, but you can always add thread. And it just makes it manageable. I'm going to go back through to those 2 white ones. Hang on to my tail thread there. I'm going to leave about a 4-inch tail thread so I can weave that back in. And then you have this. I'm going to go down through those 2 gold. I just pulled my needle off. I am using about a size 10 needle here. I don't think I'm going to have any tight spots. And if I have to, I'll change it, but I think this 10 is going to be just fine. And it's so much easier to thread. Like, I'd take you off camera to thread it if it was a 12. But I already threaded it. And I'm just going to go back up the white. Alright, because I'm coming out of the white, that white bead, I'm going to pick up another white bead, and because I'm going into a gold, I'm going to pick up a gold. I'm going to go down both of those, well, one of those, sorry. I'm going to go down the 1 gold. And I'm going to come up 3 white. Coming out of the white, so I'm going to pick up a white, going into the gold, I'm going to pick up a gold, I'm going to go down 1 gold, I'm going to go up 4 white. Coming out of white, going to pick up a white. Going into a gold, going to pick up a gold. Down 1 gold. And go up 4 white. Pick up a white and a gold. Go down 1 gold. I can hang on to it here and go through 4 white. Ah, it went flying. That's where my little thread's catching everything here. Alright, and you can see already it's starting to twist. So we're going to do that until we get the length that we want. Whatever length you want, where you want this pendant to sit on you. 16 inches or 18 inches, I would say. But however, whatever floats your boat, whatever length you like. And when we're done with that, we'll meet back here. Now if you wanted to do all the white and then just put speckles in, you would just do all of this in white. And then every now and then just add a gold bead. However frequently you want to. So that's it for the white one. Okay, we'll meet back here. I am coming up to the end of my thread here, and I just thought I would show you how I change the thread out. Different people may do it differently. I'm just going to show you how I do it. If you already have your own technique, just skip this section. I will timestamp it. So I'm coming out of this bead right here. I've not added my new bead. I'm just going to go right down the other side. A couple of beads. And I'm going to tie a half hitch knot. Go down a couple more. And tie another half hitch. I can get under that thread. My tail thread's a little short. I might tie one more, but I won't put y'all through that. I'm going to rethread a new thread and I'll be right back. Okay, I just did another half hitch, and just make sure you move your thread down a few more beads away from where you're tying your knots before you burn it off so that your knot doesn't slip loose. And I'm just going to burn that piece off and get it out of the way. I threaded another wingspan. I'm going to be coming out of this bead right here. So I'm going to go down several beads, come up through a couple. A very short tail thread because I'm not going to weave it anywhere. And I'm just going to tie a half hitch right there where I'm coming out of. Go up a couple more beads, 2 or 3, doesn't really matter. I'm going to tie another half hitch. Like I said, there may be other ways to do this. It's just the way I'm doing it. Go up a couple more beads. One more half hitch. And then up through these 2 beads. And you're back where you were adding your 2 beads and moving forward. I'm going to go ahead and burn this off. And I will see you when you get done with the length of your rope here. I've come to the end of my chain and I made it about 16.5 inches because I'm going to add a little loop for this clasp, and then the clasp is kind of big too. So that's where I ended up. But again, you can make it however long you like. I'm just going to pick up 111.0, go back through the other side of this. And let me say, before I did this, I went ahead and did some half hitches through this chain. That way, because I'm not going to use a jump ring on this, I'm just going to put it through with the beads. And if I ever want to take it off or replace it, I can just cut it off and this chain won't fall apart because it's already been tied off. You can just tie this off and start with a new thread too if you wish, or you could put a jump ring on here in between your loop and the clasp. So however you want to do that, but I'm just going to do this without a jump ring. So I'm coming out of this 11.0 right here. I'm going to go back through its little buddy over there next door. And come up back through the next door buddy and through the bead I just added. And I'm going to pick up 9 15-0s. And my toggle, my clasp, coming out of this side of the 11.0. I'm going to go around to the other side. I'm going to go through 2 of those 15-0s. Thread's getting caught. Skip the next 15-0, go into the next. Skip this 15-0, go into the next, and go ahead and go through your clasp when you get to that. Skip the next 15-0 and go through the next 2. Now go back through your 11-0. And now you have this. And I'm just going to reinforce this. I'm going to go through it probably 3 or 4 times, whatever, and get my needle and thread through. And then go ahead and go back through your chain here and tie some half hitches and tie off your thread. On the other side of your rope here, if your tail thread is long enough, you can go ahead and do the same thing we did on this side with this side. If it's not long enough, just tie it off and add a new thread and put your other half of your clasp on there. As a side note, I'm going to inject this in here. Before you put your clasps on both sides, if your clasp is too big to get through this bail, you'll need to put your necklace on before you put your other end of your clasp on. And this necklace is this pendant's going to live on this chain forever. And if you want something that you can change out, then you're going to need to put some jump rings on here so that you can pull this off and change the pendant to something else. Just food for thought. Once you've finished both of these clasps, if the pendant's not on there, it's not getting on there. And we will be back. So this is the finished pendant. It was slightly different than this one, but like I said, I did a few different design elements on this one. I added the little crosses and added the gold accent beads and made this one all white. So these are just aesthetic choices you can make. I put the delicas in instead of the crystals. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your beady friends. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos like it. Thank you for watching. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Bye.